Hello, our question of the day is it time to go back to the office? So this is something that I'm seeing a lot of people talking about. It's been on people's mind. Are they ready to go back to the office? I can share that we're getting so many calls for people wanting in-person counseling. I think there is absolutely a market for virtual counselors. I think that online counseling is not going anywhere. But if you're wondering how to get a competitive edge right now, I think it's important to consider going back in person if that is what you want to do. If you have been asking, should I go back? Should I stay online? I want to build my practice. I want, to make my next move. I think going back in person is going to be what is starting to happen. There are a lot of people doing online counseling. I'm not trying to discourage anybody from doing online counseling. I'm not like there's too much competition kind of person, at all. But I do think that there is a lot of competition. You're not only competing with other therapists, but you're competing with other larger companies like Talkspace, BetterHelp, these ones. And then you're also competing with other therapists. With a brick and mortar, you're not necessarily competing with those large conglomerates of companies. People are used to going face to face into seeing like their neighborhood therapist. They're not used to walking into like Talkspace, large, company for therapy. And so people are returning back to life. We all are returning back to life slowly in whatever ways that you can for your particular circumstances. I've been going places and there's places are way more packed than they have been. Even things like I went to give blood the other day and there were a lot of people in the waiting room and I was like, oh, this is like different than anything I've witnessed. It wasn't uncomfortable, but there were a good amount of people and, all kinds of like medical professionals. I'm starting to get emails saying we're allowing visitors back at my OBGYN. They're like, no visitors, not even for ultrasound. So my husband couldn't come to any ultrasound visits for our baby because of that rule. Well, that rule is being taken away. And so things are starting in the medical field to go back to maybe like the way that they were before. Things are opening up. So people are going to be looking to come back to brick and mortar. And I think the practices that are poised for that, especially group practices, are going to do really well. If you're like, listen, I am never going back. I love online. I have my clients. I am good to go. Like, more power to you. Don't feel like you have to return back just because I'm saying you should return back. It's not like that. It's more like, how do you get ahead of the trends, especially if you're trying to grow a practice? We do have a very robust virtual side of our practice. We will not take that away, but we are focusing very much on in-person. What we are looking forward to do in our group practice is really have like a flex kind of situation where we hire new people. We do like some in person, mostly in person, and maybe one day at telehealth. We really want to give people that flexibility. And there are, like I said, plenty of people who are going to want to do virtual. I do virtual therapy. I love it. It's so convenient for me. I can work around my schedule. I can work around my life. It works so great. And maybe there'll be a time when I go back in person, but for now, virtual works so well. So there is a whole population out there for virtual only. But remember, there's a whole population out there for people that want to see therapists in person. So if you're thinking about going in person, I'm going to give you a couple tips. But first, I want to thank our sponsor, TherapyNotes. If you're looking for an electronic health record that's really full service, one that can help you run your in-person or virtual practice, your insurance-based or private pay practice, whatever kind of practice you're looking to run, TherapyNotes can help you. You can run credit card payments. You can do virtual from their free virtual platform. You can send paperwork. You can run fantastic reports. That's my favorite thing about TherapyNotes. Like, I love running reports and I can run so many good reports from them. So I want you to check out TherapyNotes. So if you're thinking about going back in person, if you gave up your office, you can look at renting another office or renting from therapists. There are a lot of therapists, like I said, who don't want to go back full time and they're going to be renting out their office. That's a great way right now, I think, for therapists to really like have the best of both worlds. They can do 2 days in person, 2 days at home, and they can rent space from somebody. Super easy, no, fuss. If you want to rent your own space, you can think about doing that same thing. The time that you're not in the office, rent out your space. It's a great way to, make some money, to get additional income, so you don't have to, worry about incorporating such a large overhead. I'm telling you, there are therapists out there who are wanting to go back, even if it's 1 or 2 days a week. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for other therapists to rent out space. So keep that in mind when you're going back. Best of luck to any of you who decide to go back. I'm here most days answering your questions. I'll see you soon, everybody. Bye.